My old teacher spent an hour humiliating me for dropping out of high school, not knowing I left to run a $10 million company. The invite came in my email 3 months ago, asking if I'd attend a career day panel at my old high school to discuss alternative paths to success. I almost deleted it until I saw who else was on the panel. Ms. Richardson, my junior year English teacher, Mr. Palmer, who taught economics, and Mrs. Chen, the guidance counselor who'd called me into her office 6 times trying to convince me not to drop out. I accepted the invite immediately. The auditorium looked exactly the same. Same blue seats, same water-stained ceiling tiles, same motivational posters about reaching for the stars. I sat in the back row of panelists wearing jeans and a hoodie while the other guests showed up in business suits. Ms. Richardson gave me this look when she sat down, like she was trying to place my face, and then I saw the recognition hit. "Is that Marcus Williams?" she whispered to Mr. Palmer, loud enough for me to hear. Mr. Palmer squinted at me through his glasses and frowned. I thought he was in jail or something. The moderator started the panel by having each of us introduce ourselves and explain our career paths. The first panelist was a lawyer who went to Yale. The second was a doctor who'd graduated top of her class from Harvard Medical School. The third ran a nonprofit and had a master's degree from Georgetown. Then it was my turn. I said my name was Marcus. I dropped out of this high school 7 years ago and I currently ran a software company. I kept it vague on purpose. Ms. Richardson's hand shot up immediately, not even waiting for the Q&A portion. She asked, with this concerned tone that didn't match the judgment in her eyes, if I regretted my decision to leave high school and whether I'd encourage these students to follow my path. I said I didn't regret it, that sometimes unconventional choices lead to unconventional success. That's when things got uncomfortable. Mr. Palmer interrupted and said that dropping out was statistically correlated with poverty, unemployment, and incarceration. He pulled up actual statistics on his phone and started reading them aloud to the auditorium full of students. Mrs. Chen joined in, explaining how I'd wasted my potential, how I'd had good grades before I left, how she'd spent hours trying to help me see reason. She told the students that I was a cautionary tale, not a role model. The whole thing turned into an intervention disguised as a panel discussion. Ms. Richardson started talking about how hard life is without a diploma, let alone a college degree, how employers won't take you seriously, how you'll always be limited in your options. The other panelists sat there awkwardly while my former teacher spent 45 minutes essentially telling 300 students that I'd ruined my life and they shouldn't make the same mistake. At one point, Mr. Palmer directly asked me what I did at my software company with this skeptical tone that implied he didn't believe I actually had a real job. I told him I was the founder and CEO. He laughed, literally laughed, then asked what the company's revenue was like he was trying to catch me in a lie. I said we did about 10 million in annual revenue. The auditorium went quiet. Mrs. Chen's expression shifted from pity to confusion. Ms. Richardson looked like I'd slapped her. Mr. Palmer said that was impossible, that you can't run a $10 million company without a high school diploma, let alone a college degree. So I pulled out my phone and opened our company website, showed them the About page with my photo and title, showed them the TechCrunch article from last year about our Series A funding round, showed them the Forbes 30 Under 30 list where I'd been featured 6 months ago. I explained that I dropped out because I'd been teaching myself to code since I was 12, and by 16, I built an app that got acquired by a larger company for $400,000. I used that money to start my current company at 17. I didn't need a diploma to prove I could solve problems. I needed time and freedom to build something that mattered. The students started asking real questions then, about how I learned to code, about the challenges of running a company so young, about whether they should consider entrepreneurship, but my teachers sat there in stunned silence. Ms. Richardson's face had gone red. Mr. Palmer kept refreshing my company's website on his phone like he was looking for proof it was fake. Mrs. Chen stared at her hands. After the panel ended, Mrs. Chen approached me in the parking lot. I expected an apology, maybe even congratulations, but what she said instead made me realize this wasn't over, and that's when things took a turn I never expected. The rest of the story is on my channel or linked below.